Concept of development and its relationship with learning. This chapter is one of the most important chapter of child development and pedagogy. In this previous paper, one or two questions are asked from this chapter regularly. Focus topics of this chapter are concept and types of development, stages of human development, etc. Concept of development. The term development refers to the various qualitative and quantitative changes taking place simultaneously with the change to growth. Therefore, development may be defined as a progressive series of mannered and coherent changes. The word development indicates the changes related to growth and the moves towards maturity. In other words, development can be described as growth in physical, mental, and emotional state of an individual. In the process of development, new abilities and characteristics get manifested, and there is a progressive changes in the behavior of individual. Definition of development given by various thinkers are given below. According to Jarsild, Telfold, and Sarre, development refers to the complex set of processes involved in the emergence of a mature functioning organism from fertilized ovum. According to E. Harlock, development is not limited to growing layer. Instead, it consists of progressive series of changes towards the goal of maturity. Due to development, new abilities grow in a man. According to J. E. Anderson, development is concerned with growth as well as those changes in behavior which result from environmental situations. According to Heinz Werner, development consists of two processes, integration and differentiation. Characteristic of development. Following are 6 important characteristics of development. The process of development continues from the moment of conception until the individual reaches maturity. Development occurs in an orderly manner and follows a certain sequence. The following sequence is followed in the process of development in human being: infancy, early childhood, late childhood, adolescence, and maturity. Development is both qualitative and quantitative. As the child grows physically, he also develops the qualitative aspects of his personality. Thus, two types aspects are inseparable. Human growth and development is very complex phenomena. It is affected by a number of factors, that is physical, intelligence, sex, etc. It is possible to predict the rate of development by seeing a slow learner and a superior child, but it cannot be predicted accurately. Individual difference from each other in their pattern and rate of development. The individual difference are caused by difference in heredity, environment and endowment and environment influence. Types of development. Following are the types of development. Physical development. It is the most recognized and observed change in the life of a child. It includes the gross motor skills such as walking, jumping, catching, etc., and the fine motor skill for painting, writing, scribbling, drawing, etc. This development is largely depend upon the child's health and maturation and nutritional status. This development is also called as maturation. Cognitive development. It focuses on how children learn and process information. As the children grow in age, they can understand their environment by using their senses such as seeing, listening, touching, smelling, and tasting, registering information in their minds and efficiently retrieving it from their memory. This development indicates the development of intelligence. Social and emotional development. These are indicators of sound social development among children. The seeds of this social behavior are shown in infancy itself. Young children also enjoy company of their friends. They develop social skills like sharing, cooperation, patience, etc. in their interaction with peers and others. According to Harlock, social development means acquisition of the ability to live in accordance with social Exception. Emotions are the stimulated or moved state of mind and are excitement or disturbance in feeling of an individual. Emotional development is the ability to control and manage one's emotion. It is important that children in their early childhood are surrounded by people who are emotionally mature and stable and are also and are able to manage their emotions. Language development, interaction with another interaction with one another through various methods of communication, that is writing, speaking, sign language, etc. But above all, language is an important medium of communication. Language is a form of communication that uses words and symbols to express thoughts, desires and feelings. Moral development deals with the development of either or ethics or ethical norms to value the conscience and the ability to judge and act normally or act morally. Children cannot make moral judgment until they achieve a certain level of cognitive maturity. Growth means the growth of different parts of human body and the ability of those parts to work. The physical growth affects our behavior and vice versa. Thus, growth means shape and growth in weight, which includes growth of muscles also. Harvard Stevenson refers physical growth as big and heavy. In other words, growth refers to increase in weight, height, and change in body proportions. Growth takes place in the physical aspect only. Growth also refers to quantitative changes. That is, it is possible to measure how tall a child has grown over a specific period of time. Difference between growth and development. There are some differences that can be put forth easily on the basis of their concepts. The differences are as follows. Growth and development. The term growth is used in purely physical sense. It generally refers to an increase in size, length, height and weight. Changes in the quantitative aspects come into the domain growth. Development implies overall changes in shape, form, or structure resulting in improved working or functioning. It indicates a change in the quality or character rather than a quantitative aspects. Growth. The change produced by growth are the subject of measurement. They may be quantitative and are quantified and are observed in nature. Development implies environment in functioning and behavior and hence bring qualitative changes which are difficult to measure directly. Growth is one of the parts of development process. It takes hence development in its quantitative aspects is termed as growth. Development is a wider and comprehensive term. It refers to overall changes in individual. Growth is one of its part. Growth may or may not bring development. A child may grow by becoming fat, but this growth may not bring any functional improvement or development. Development is also possible growth without with growth. When some children do not gain in terms of height, size, etc., but they do experience function improvement, qualitative change or development. Growth doesn't continue throughout life. It stops when maturity has been attained. Development is a continuous process. It grows from womb to tomb. It doesn't end with an attainment of maturity. Factors responsible for growth and development. Following are some important factors that directly or indirectly influence the development and growth. They are as follows. Heredity. It is a biological process through which the transmission of physical and social characteristics take place from parents to offspring. It generally influences the different aspects of growth and development, that is height, weight and structure of the body, color of hair, eyes, intelligence, aptitude and instincts. Environment. It plays an important role in growth and development of an individual. It contains of some total of physical and psychological aspects of an individual which he receives from his conception. The environment can be controlled to make heredity more favorable for an individual's growth. Nutrition. It is essential for the healthy development of all individual in terms of physical and mental attributes. Growth and development of an individual mainly depends on his food habit and nutrition. The malnutrition has adverse effect on the structural and functional development of an individual or child. Sex. It acts as an important factor of growth and development. There is difference in growth and development of boys and girls. The boys are generally taller, courageous than the girl, but girls show rapid physical growth in adolescence and excel to the boys. In general, the body constitution and structural growth of girls are different from the boys, and the function of boys and girls are also different in nature. Early stimulation. Environment encourages the development of the child's heredity potential. That is, talking to a baby or showing a preschool pictures in storybooks encourage his or her interest in learning words and a desire and to learn and to read. A stimulating environment encourages good physical and mental development, while an unstimulating environment causes the child's development to fall below its potential. Child rearing practice. Children brought up by permissive parents tend to lack a sense of responsibility, to have poor emotional control, and to become underachievers in whatever they undertake. Those brought up by democratic or even firm parents are likely to make better personal and social adjustment. Stages of human development. The process of development continue even after the individual has attained physical maturity, means growth. The individual is continuously changed as his or her interaction interacts with the environment. The stages of development have been classified into as follows. Infancy stage. This is the first stage of growth after prenatal, and it compares newborn to 2 years old. According to Erik Erikson's theory, the infant depends on the parents, especially the mother. The major development task in infancy is to learn whether or not other people, especially primary caregivers, regularly satisfy basic needs. The growth is mostly seen as increase in size, shape, and weight. The cells become larger in size. The cervical and lumbar curvatures of the spine shows up as the baby starts to straighten the head and tries to sit and stand. Childhood stage. The childhood stage can be simplified into two stages, that is early childhood and late childhood. Early childhood stage or toy age 2 to 6 years. The early childhood is a time of tremendous growth across all areas of development. At this stage, children's child like to do work independently and can take care of his or her own body and interact effectively with others. It is a sensitive period of language development. At this stage of development, children actively engage in make believe play. In this stage, the child becomes a toddler with a more balanced adult like appearance. Despite the age of 4 years, child has mastered many skills such as sitting, walking, using toilet, using spoon, scribbling, and sufficient hand eye coordination to catch and throw, and also communication with others and solve problems. By the age of 6, most children demonstrate the fine motor skill. A child learns to identify members of family and gets involved in his surroundings. Late childhood stage 6 to 12 years. In this, a child refines his skills acquired during the early childhood period and learns new skill as well. At this stage, child gains height and also physical entities such as mass, number, and areas, etc. Sigmund Freud psychoanalytic theory labeled this stage of life as the latency stage, a time when sexual and aggressive urges are repressed. During this stage, child learn the values of their societies. Thus, the primary developmental tasks of late childhood could be called integration, both in terms of development within the individual and of the individual within the social context. The social skill learned through peer and family relationship and children's increasing ability to participate in meaningful interpersonal communications provide a necessary foundation of the challenge of adolescence. Best friends are important at this stage, and the skills gained in this relationship may the social skills learned to peer and family The social skill learned through peer and family relationship and children's increasing ability to participate in meaningful interpersonal communications provide a necessary foundation for the challenges of adolescence. Best friends are important at this stage, and the skill gained in this relationship may provide the building blocks for healthy adult relationships. Adolescent stage 12 to 18 years. This stage is considered as the period of development and adjustment during the transitional period between childhood and adulthood. Adolescence is defined as a culturally construct period that generally begins as individuals reach sexual maturity and end when the individual has established an identity as an adult with his or her social context. In other words, the primary development task of adolescence is considered as the identity formation. Adolescence is an important period for cognitive development as well as it makes a transition in the way in which individuals think and reason about problems and ideas. Adolescents are try on new rules, new ways of thinking and behaving, and they are exploring different ideas and values. Erikson addressed this in his framework of lifespan development. With so many intense experience, adolescence is also an important time in emotional development. Mood swings are characteristics of adolescence. Adulthood 18 to 65 years plus. For better understanding of adolescence, it can be divided into the following stages. This is early adulthood 18 to 20 to 25 years. This stage is a development bridge between pre-adulthood and young adulthood. This phase is considered as the healthiest time of life. Arnett suggests that early childhood is the distinct period between 18 to 25 years of age, where adolescents become more independent and explore various life possibilities. Young adulthood 20 to 40 years. At this stage, strength and physical performance reach their peak. Flexibility may decrease with age throughout adulthood. Young adulthood is filled with and quest for intimate relationship and other major commitments involving career and life goals. Mature adulthood from 40 to 65 years. There are some difference in mature adulthood. Some difference it between middle age 45 to 64, but Erikson defines it between 40 to 65 years of age. At this stage, vision of eyes could change, and many who didn't need corrective lenses or eyeglasses may find that they need them. Aging adulthood 65 years plus. Aging adulthood is also called at as late adulthood, which is generally considered to begin at the age of 65. In late adulthood, a variety of psychological changes may occur, including some degree of atrophy of the brain and decrease in the rate of neutral process. Learning is a key process in human behavior. It is defined as any relative permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of practice and experience. Definition of learning are given below. According to E.L. Thorndike, learning is a gradual process where the individual will make many attempts to learn. According to Crow and Crow, the learning involves in the acquisition of habits, knowledge, and attitudes. Relationship between learning and development. Learning and development are important and distinct psychological process. Development is a process which concerns the totality of the structure of knowledge. On the other hand, learning is provoked by situations or by a teacher or by external situations. Learning awakens the development process through social interaction with peers and teachers in such a way that it would not occur if the child were in isolation. Learning affects development and development also affects learning. As a child grows, he learns about his surroundings and interacts with new environment. This helps in learning and development his mental and behavioral abilities to adjust or serve in his life.